Hello, it is Friday. Welcome back to the Level 1 News. Today we are doing robot nonsense, which is the classic combo. I think it's mostly nonsense, correct?
It's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
Robot is never the biggest category.
No.
There's only so much robot news that you can squeeze in, and I have actually expanded it to be both AI and space related as well. But that's the fun stories, right?
They are
That's
fun.
the cool stuff. Although this one may be a little bit terrifying. Could help us a lot, could also be terrible, probably going to be both.
Alphabet is launching a company that uses AI for drug discovery. Would you rather have Alphabet in charge of the new drugs or 23andMe?
It's going to be a combination.
Yeah, I don't know that I like either of those options, but
Would either share their data to get a hold of the other one's data?
Yes.
Probably 23andMe would be more likely to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because their set can't be as good. Even though they are literally a company that you send blood to. I guess it's just a swab, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's how you're going to verify your new Androids. Like, the Pixel 9 will have a little needle that you...
Oh, they can make it Dune themed, the Gom Jabbar. It's like enter your hand into the confirmation device.
what's in
Don't
the box?
withdraw it for 30 seconds.
Have you watched it yet? Have you watched Dune?
No.
Yeah, you keep saying that you're putting it off. I didn't know if you'd watched it since we talked last.
I might wait till the other one comes out. Because I don't like half a movie.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, but it'll probably be 2 years for the next one.
Who cares?
At the rate we're going, that's the blink of an eye.
It's not like there's spoilers because I already know what's going to happen. So what's the problem? Well, we had the big lawsuits that had to do with NASA and who gets to be BFF for the trip back to the moon with the lunar lander and the rockets. And everybody had their own little piece, but everybody wanted a bigger piece. It's been resolved.
Bezos' Blue Origin has lost its NASA lawsuit over SpaceX's $2.9 billion lunar lander contract. Federal claims court ruled that Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin in the company's lawsuit, no. Stop that. What are you doing? Why did you even bother wasting my time?
He was very he took it well. I must have read a different story. His tweet was here we go. Yeah, he tweeted something very good. It was like, oh, you know what, maybe that wasn't. Here we go. His tweet was just very, oh, we lost, but I still love him.
They still put up a good fight,
So
Good luck.
Now that's what you do if you're an adult billionaire. But if you are a child billionaire,
You have been judged.
what a prick.
The judge was a little salty with Blue Origin bringing it in the first place, but hey.
It was a ridiculous lawsuit.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. I mean, if NASA doesn't pick you, you shouldn't be screaming and pouting about it.
Yeah, people also bad PR stunt there because people love NASA and people do not like Jeff Bezos. You're not going to win that fight in the court of public opinion either.
And I think they like Musk more than they like Bezos, too.
Yeah.
I don't really like either of them, but if I had to pick, I probably would pick Musk.
Well, Australia is not a name that you hear very often when it comes to the space race, but they're tired of that. They're getting into it.
Australia is putting a rover on the moon in 2024 to search for water.
Weirdly enough, I feel like Australia would have the best chance because the whole inner part of their country is like the
Super
moon
dry.
or Mars. Yeah.
Yeah, but one of those spiders will be hiding under like a heat panel or something, and he'll get up there, and then he'll adapt, and then there'll be moon spiders.
Have to start carrying rifles on the moon.
And Amazon is not only competing with Elon Musk when it comes to getting to the moon, but also they've decided to launch their own satellite system, the Constellation satellites. But they are not quite as far along.
Amazon's satellite launch schedule puts it nearly 4 years behind Starlink. Amazon says it's going to test its Kuiper broadband satellites in space late next year.
Oh, you're going to get savaged in the comments for that one.
Kuiper?
Kuiper,
right. I knew that.
That's a word that I read as, when I just read it in my head, I read it as Kuiper.
So,
I don't know why.
pretty much the same business model, but it's going to take a while. It'd be nice to have competition.
Starlink is impressive for the people I know that have gotten it, and it's not. They don't even have all the satellites yet. It's very impressive.
If they both covered the night sky and satellites, will that make it harder for us to observe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside.
I think they've been talking about making them less shiny somehow.
Yeah.
But what can you do, really? Put some Vanta Black on them. Here's an example of fun things that you can do with AI because the whole world is under surveillance.
We mapped every large solar plant on the planet using satellites and machine learning. Turns out a highly reflective panel on the ground is really easy to spot from a satellite. So you can see, there we go.
Gosh, seems like the sunniest places ain't using solar panels. What's going on with that?
Probably because they're kind of still a newish technology.
Asia really killing it with solar panels, though.
Yeah.
Look in the middle of the Australian outback. There's some solar there.
What's going on there? Isn't that just desert?
Yeah, hardly anyone lives on the inner part of Australia, from what I understand.
It must be government experimentation.
You think they pipe that power all the way back to the coast?
Maybe.
Impressive.
Or there's like a little town, little mini community out there.
It's all kangaroos and snakes starting their own economy.
If you're a kangaroo and you jump in front of the reflected sunlight from that thing, just burst into flames. Just
They're using the solar panels to mine cryptocurrency to further their agenda. Well, the Boston Dynamics Spot robot is the world's greatest robot. Would you agree?
yes.
Yeah.
Who else would even be close?
Flippy.
No.
They can do what Flippy can do.
That's
It's
true.
mobile. Like Flippy's on rails. These guys could go from restaurant to restaurant and work that. But mostly what we've seen them do is just adorable stuff, and this is no exception.
Watch Boston Dynamics robot dogs recreate the Rolling Stones Start Me Up video, shot for shot. You have to just drop everything and go watch this. It's worth the dip in our
It's
analytics
cute. Yeah.
for you to go watch this.
God, that music video was terrible. What were they thinking?
It
Although
was-
I guess that was a long time ago.
It was good for the era.
That was the style. Yeah, you just danced in front of a camera.
And somehow people watched that and they were like, nah, Mick Jagger's still cool. Even though he dances like
I mean,
that.
that's like TikTok, right? TikTok's just dancing in front of a camera. People love it.
I saw there's a really popular TikToker, and what he's doing, and this is catching on for some reason, is he's using a mirror and just setting his phone down so he can stream games. So you're watching him and you see the game in the mirror.
Oh,
And it's like the most low-tech thing in the world, but the TikTokers love it.
wow.
Huh.
Impressive.
It's just bizarre. And I'm sure there's somebody on Twitch who set up like all their animations and their triggers and a perfect green screen, and they're just like, oh.
I feel like Twitch would be the better platform for that because you could actually monetize it too. But
I don't know.
Wendell, sorry, I've been playing with your Tiki Tac the whole time, and then I realized Wendell doesn't have his Tiki
Oh
Tac.
God, don't let
It's
that spread.
fine. What?
If the compulsions are contagious, I'm
Yeah,
getting out
you're
of
about
here.
to get it next.
I don't want that.
I can't help it. My brain is broken.
Here's we got a lot of comments
About-
from last week. So should we double down?
Axel A. We could say Axel A.
But this turned out to be kind of a nothing burger.
Amazon wants us to stop talking so much to Axel A.
You know what? People complaining about that should just change the trigger word.
We've ordered so many gummy bears. So many.
Alexa, update my trigger word. Does that work, you think?
I don't know.
Probably have to go into the GUI for that one. NFTs are the scourge that we will see plague us for the rest of this year and the coming year. It's going to be awful. Corporations don't know how to get into it, but they've got the FOMO going. They got to try.
McDonald's McRib is now an NFT. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, this is some hipster or like, no, it's McDonald's. McDonald's Corporation is making this NFT.
Official McDonald's. Krista, how do you feel about the McDonald's? First of all, the M is repeated, but also the M is not broken on the left.
I don't like that it's not broken. I don't care about it not being repeated. That's pretty common in logos
It's also not centered.
because the icon will usually appear by itself in some applications, so that's to be expected.
I think this is terrible. Plus, whoever put that up, well, I guess they used like a stencil or something, but how easy would it be to get those bottom yellow parts off? And then it would be really annoying.
It's interesting that they're still using the golden arches, even though like every McDonald's dining room is now like sad and gray and beige.
What do you think the Q rating is on the golden arches? Like
I mean,
95%.
That company's so old at this point, they probably can't move away from it without causing a backlash.
I bet golden arches are universal, like worldwide. I bet they're more recognizable than Jesus.
I think it's probably close. Nike swoosh as well.
There it is. The McRib NFT. You can't buy it. Somehow they're giving it away on Twitter.
You can right-click it. Right-click, save as. Ta-da! I mean, this makes sense because we're not going to be able to buy any goods this Christmas because of the shortages.
Digital goods. But the thing about the Nike thing that I don't quite understand is like you've got a pair of shoes, then you've got the NFT. I don't think they're going to give you that when you buy the shoes.
No.
So it's a weird situation.
What if it's like the McDonald's Monopoly lottery?
I was just thinking about that.
You buy the shoe and you get some kind of an NFT, and it might be a good one or it might be a dud.
I think that's what EA and Epic are doing, right?
Yeah.
If McDonald's was smart, they would do that.
Valve was basically doing that with their trading cards, you know.
Well, loot boxes, right? I'm sure loot boxes will kind of play into it. Be a similar mechanic.
Yeah.
You get some NFTs, you can trade them. Every time you transact them, like Valve, they take a penny or more. It's great. It's bad for everything, including gaming, but it's good for those companies.
It is interesting that Valve, when you think about it that way, it's like Valve rejected NFTs, but they basically created proto NFTs with the card trading stuff.
But you can't take the cards off their platform.
Well,
I think that's where the NFT is going to be different, right?
Is it really? You can't really take it off the Ethereum blockchain either.
But you could resell it other places.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you think you could? Will we ever get into a world where you can take your Call of Duty NFT and put it on your Battlefield character? And that's too much crossover, right?
They're exclusive.
I wonder if there's anything in property law and property rights, because that would be like, you know, if that's your property, you can't restrict what you do with your property.
Wouldn't they argue it's not yours?
There's a lot of exceptions already to
Yeah.
that. How about the right to repair? So if you're a billionaire, you can do almost anything you want as long as you give people money. And they will question it maybe a little bit, but if the sum of money is high enough, or if the item is just free, they will not question it. And you get absolute madness that can happen.
Billionaire seeks to build largely windowless dorm in social and psychological experiment. So this is basically a prison. This is a donation to a school where it's like, all right, I'm going to give you this money, $993 million, and you can build this dorm, but you can't make any changes to it. And they were like,
This is
okay.
not quite, but very close to the Panopticon prison design.
I was thinking prison architect looking at this graph. I was like, this is like the cells I designed for my prisoners.
Typical residential floor plan. And so the billionaire's like, no, they'll have to come out of their rooms and come together because the rooms are very, very small cracker boxes where you only have a bed.
So only the ones on the edges have tiny windows. The ones in the middle obviously have nothing. The ones in between the two with the centerpiece there will look out onto that general area. But there will always be people in that general area looking back. So
God, that's depressing.
you're not
That's
looking
so
at
depressing.
the beautiful outside. He has already built one of these, and it was the same kind of thing. He thinks this is brilliant, and they're going to build this. 94% of the rooms will not have windows.
Here's my question. Doesn't fire code, I know for apartments this is true, like you have to have at least one openable window?
Yeah.
Like what happens if there's a fire in this building?
No, he'll have the fire escape will be built into the hallways probably.
What happens when all those people crowd out in the hallway?
They burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's probably some kind of fire suppression system built in, but yeah, I don't know. I just
It seems like that should be a code violation, but money, if you have enough money, I guess code doesn't matter.
I saw a thread on Twitter where it's like, I'm gonna give you enough money to build a new chem lab. And it's like, all right, thank you, kind donor. And then, but you can't use any wash stations. There can be no wash stations in the new chem lab.
You don't need eyesight.
And it's like, well, we can probably work with that. Okay. Also, no fumes. And it's like,
We're not going to use glass.
Yeah.
Don't use glass. Just carry it in your hands.
handling mercury with just your bare hands.
Well,
What could possibly go wrong?
What if what he's doing is building in plain sight the next Squid Game.
I was thinking that this is the plot to the original Ghostbusters movie. Is like you had some crazy billionaire build this building, and then before you know it, that's how you get Zool.
Well, that would certainly make your college experience more exciting if Zool was living in your dorm. If you don't have that, maybe you can get some excitement with some mobile gaming. Oh, everybody loves it. And one of the big hits, of course, PUBG, which is officially now called PUBG, not PlayerUnknown Battleground.
Huh.
Which is a good move, I guess. I wonder how he feels about that. Probably fine, because he is now a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, probably doesn't care.
A $20 billion game company's future hinges on the new PUBG. So this is an article that's like, hey, by the way, this is the company that get most of the revenue from PUBG. There's a lot of competitors. Ooh, they're trying to pivot. Ooh, are they going to be successful?
Here is the problem I see with it. It is almost completely cosmetic. They have not changed the underlying physics or collisions or anything like that, according to Bloomberg.
That was my problem with PUBG. Like before all the hacking problems started, was like
it was janky.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like slow and unresponsive when you were running around sometimes.
Remember when you would climb over something and break your leg?
Yeah.
You got to think that you're thinking of DayZ.
Well, no, I mean, it happened in PUBG a lot,
Yeah,
too.
you'd take damage. Like, sometimes you would go to hide behind cover and your character would keep running and you'd fall off an edge and then you'd hurt yourself.
I got to think that's probably worse on mobile, right? Or maybe it doesn't matter on mobile because the control is so bad you don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, I always love it when there's a story. God, this is an ugly bird. When there's a story that plays out like, modern fiction. And here we go. It's Jurassic Park. It's not actually that uncommon, but it is weird.
Endangered birds experience a virgin birth for the first for this species recorded anyway. It's the female California condor. There was a bird's nest, and they had some eggs, 2 females. They hatched.
But actually, there were males. They genetically coded the offspring. The males had nothing to do with it. They were cucked.
Wow.
By the females. Honestly, looking at if this is one of the girls, I can see why the males weren't interested. Look at that face. That's hideous.
What evolutionary forces have made it so that, is it because
maybe there's not enough males?
Well, you can't have mites or anything living in the fur there. I don't know.
Oh, so just their head is bald. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, you made the Jurassic Park reference, but yeah, I think that is actually, like, toads and fish are usually the species that can do that, where they'll, like, spontaneously change their gender or something like that and then have kids without anything to do with another member of the opposite gender.
They gave the name of it. I don't remember what the name of it is.
It is parthenogenesis.
It's rare in birds or vertebrates in general, but it seems like it's happening more and more.
It's basically a clone.
Yeah. Life finds a way.
Tough to be mad at your kids when they're a perfect clone of you. The West Coast continues to have a bit of a homeless problem, and they don't really have a lot of good solutions for it thus far.
This story was heartbreaking.
Yeah, and this is definitely illustrative of how horrific it can be to live on that coast.
California. Homeless students at California College can now sleep in their cars in the parking garage.
Are we not generous overlords?
Now, don't worry. They're going to have access to a bathroom and a shower and free Wi-Fi.
Well, that's kind of how this came about, because they were already doing this, and they were using, like, the gym showers because they're students.
Life in it. Yeah.
And then, somebody got their arms in a twist, and it's like, well, they're students at the university. They're trying to improve their lives. Are we really going to give them a hard time? My goodness. And so a bunch of faculty got together. And if you're in this position as a student, the faculty are trying to find you something that's not living in your car. But they hired a security guard to keep an eye on everybody and to try to keep the chaos. And, they're managing, which seems like a reasonable solution, but the problem in the first place is not reasonable.
How hard do you think they'll police the student IDs?
Pretty hard, I'd say.
What if I have a guest in my car who's not a student?
That's actually that's in the thing, and you cannot do that.
I imagine they'll probably have a permit or something that you have to hang in your window. That's like, I'm a van lifer.
Well, it's only 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., so I think all the other students are probably gone at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they assume that everybody in there at night is that.
Yeah.
It is the headline is crazy because you look at that headline along with the Intel chip. It's like Look at the excess
Yeah.
versus this. But that's the way the world works. Oklahoma inmates are upset, and I've heard about this. Remember the Metallica lawsuit?
Yep.
And a couple of people came after Trump, although he wasn't using it for torture, but using people's music for evil. It makes people upset.
Former Oklahoma inmates were forced to listen to Baby Shark on repeat file a federal lawsuit. Use of the Baby Shark children's song in the manner described herein is known as a device to torment, the filing says. I would agree. If this goes to a jury trial, the jury is probably going to say, well, yeah, you were trying to torment the inmates.
They were cuffed, left standing, cuffed to bars so they couldn't sit down, which is its own kind of torture, and Baby Shark was playing. There are a lot of weak-willed parents watching this who are like, bro, I've listened to Baby Shark way more than 3 hours.
Oh, the hot new thing, I think my friend has a toddler and an infant, and she says that her toddler wants to watch a YouTube channel called Blippi, which is like, it's an educational channel, but she said that the guy is like the most annoying person in the world.
Did you see the Blues Clues guys came back for like the 20th anniversary and made a little video?
Yeah, people were weirdly nostalgic about that. And I was like,
Was that the one where he's like, I never forgot about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, he's talking to me. And I was like, no, this is to sell Blues Clues merchandise.
Which it will. A
Yeah.
lot of it.
Well, of course, everybody wants to be a big star on social media. But how do you get there if you don't have any beauty or talent?
Making news videos, obviously.
You can, you
Streaming
can
on
also
Twitch.
You can also just risk your life. That's a quicker way.
Rise of selfie deaths lead experts to talk about a public health problem. The top 3 countries: India, America, and Russia. So this is a guy who has climbed to the top of a TV tower. That's not allowed. That's trespassing, 1. 2, he's not wearing a parachute or a wingsuit, so...
Yeah, he's not even like roped to it at all.
If he fell and on the way down he took out my TV or internet service, I would have no sympathy. I would want it's like sue his parents. Let's do something about this. Jesus, it's stupid.
There's it's like a railway bridge in Louisville that looks really old, and apparently a lot of people die on that because they go to take selfies on it. They don't realize it's an actual functioning rail line, and a lot of people die there. All for the gram.
I wonder in that last moment, are they thinking, oh, this is going to be so good and I'll never see it?
They're thinking, that explains why there's a mirror finish on the tracks.
That's the rumbling I've been feeling.
Well, a lot of businesses are trying to go woke to cash in on that. I don't know if it actually ever helps very much, but it certainly gets you in the news. However, you have to be careful getting in the news with wokeness because some people don't know. I don't know. Like, do they not understand that this is all just marketing, or is the marketing making them insane? Both is very dangerous.
Police rushed to protect the comic book artist after threat over the bisexual Superman? Yeah. So we covered that in the weeks gone by, the comic and the wokeness and all that kind of thing. But, yeah, apparently that person's facing death threats, and the police are taking them seriously.
I don't understand being that upset that you would feel the need to threaten someone over a fictional character.
I mean, I was really upset at what's his name did to the Masters of the Universe, but
On the
not
Netflix
enough to
thing.
try to
Like-
hurt them.
not even like if I saw him in an airport, I wouldn't bring it up because it's not that big a deal to me.
Yeah.
Certainly not gonna try to kill him. Well, people get pretty serious about their Superman, I guess. Now, QAnon.
Demonetized.
Oh, that's right. Crap.
QAnon.
The Q people. That's probably not even allowed either.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's taken on a religious fervor, don't you think?
I'm a religious person, and it's like it's a new level for me.
But that's the only way that you could keep buying back in. Time after time, they have failed to deliver on their promises.
It reminds me of the pigeons. You know, the guy that conditioned the pigeons to just do random behavior when he would feed them randomly. Like he trained them, and then
there has to be a win in there somewhere. When have they ever gotten one right?
I don't
they
understand
have.
this one in particular because it's like, why does it matter if he did? I don't.
Because that's just one of these like big this works in this is similar to cults too, right? You make this big earth-shattering announcement, and people are like, well, it's got to be true, right? Because if they're lying about it, we'll know. But then they know and they stay.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's like, well, okay. And on the other side, the cult of the spike. Doesn't matter how many facts there are. That's like, no, we're sticking with this. So here we go.
QAnon believers gather in Dallas awaiting the return of long dead JFK Jr. And I was like, ha ha ha, this is funny. And then I scrolled down and I saw the pictures and it was, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The question I just return to over and over is like, why him? Why pick him as the person who's coming back?
Oh, the picture they've got doesn't seem like there were a lot of people there. There was a different picture here. The article that I read had a picture of a huge number of people that were there, and it was scary.
I think it's because he was sort of like a poster boy for capitalism and right wing and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff in their material is like he was going to make all of these changes, which is why he had to be eliminated.
Yeah, but they've
Can
made
you serve in a political station if you're undead? Is that covered anywhere?
well, but if he was just saying that he wasn't dead all along and he was hiding out. But see, this is like those kind of grand claims because they believed that, first of all, Trump was going to win the election, right? And then second of all, Hillary was going to go to jail and it was all going to be overturned. And then there was going to be a recount and all this stuff was coming out. And none of that has ever happened. So time after time, they keep failing. But this hardcore group of people still buys into it. It's got to be replacing religion in the human mind. That's the only explanation. And politics as religion is the most terrifying thing I've ever heard of in my life. We're certainly living it.
This is my favorite nonsense story this week.
Oh, this was how hard.
I need to see the image of this one.
How hard do you have to be looking to get offended by this?
Really, really hard.
It has to be your entire. Well, let me just show you what the words are there, Krista. I don't know if you can see that. You can't see that.
No, I'm blind.
Well,
it's also like, a JPEG, so it's
you're gonna have to get
crunchy.
it from context. I'm sorry.
Pizza Hut hits back after diners' complaint about its sexualized tomato sauce bottle.
No, we gotta show you the picture. Show him the picture.
So
show chat the
We're
picture.
scrolling down. Yeah,
It was the three words that set him off:
I can't see that.
shake, squeeze, and squirt. Well, she cracked up a little bit.
I mean, I get it, but also, it's a tomato ketchup bottle.
What kind of highfalutin ketchup does this guy have that he's not used to ketchup separating a little bit? Like all of that grade of ketchup, it's going to be a little bit watery unless you shake it.
His argument is he was there with his child, and the child immediately said, like somebody else at the table picked it up, and they were like, ah, ha, 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 shake, squeeze, and squirt. And the child was like, wait, why is that funny? And he was completely uncomfortable with it.
He's going to have a lot of moments like that parenting that are going to be worse.
Some of the quotes that he said about that were, oh, yeah, here. It's not innocent in my eyes. The barbecue sauce one said squeeze, but the ketchup one said that. He couldn't even repeat it. It sounds like an app for swingers.
What?
I mean, come on.
The child's probably already forgotten about this.
Oh, that child is doomed.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for that child.
If I'm that child and I'm Googling and I find this broadcast in the future or some other article about this happening, it would make me feel better because it was like, that's why I'm so messed up. You don't always get a lot of documentation. It's like, why am I messed up? And you're searching, you don't find out why. You'll find this, and then that's why.
I don't know if that makes your life better or worse.
I don't know.
Maybe it gives you a starting point in therapy.
Yeah, the therapist can actually like the great
Google it, yeah.
and it's like, why are you so messed up? And I go,
Well, here's an article from
they're
2021.
They're not always this easy.
Yeah, that guy's going to have so many sexual dysfunctions, he's not going to understand why. I'm impotent at 25 unless there's condiments involved. Well, the holiday season looks like it's going to be one of shortages. A little bit of everything missing. Krista, you said that you're buying your ham now.
Yeah, my mom wants a country ham, and she's like, I need you to go to the local meat market there and get it now. And I was like, Mom, it's like 2 months before. And she's like, no, we
Freeze
need it now. Yeah, we're going to freeze it.
I have had difficulty buying peanut butter and cat food.
Cat food is a huge problem right now.
Yeah, it's especially when you've got an older cat that's kind of a picky eater.
Yeah. My cats had to eat chicken pate the other night. They were not happy about it.
But they ate it, didn't they?
Eventually. Well, but if you face that for your holiday meals, Heinz has basically they've got a solution that equates to nutrient paste. Like the holiday meal is this huge feast, and it's this one time a year
It's gruel.
we indulge and we really take care of ourselves.
Somebody been playing RimWorld?
And Heinz is saying, no, you're just going to eat this processed thing and you're going to be happy.
Christmas dinner in a can promises to answer supermarket shortages. Somewhere inside Heinz, there's a manager. It's like, Jenkins, it was brilliant for you to save the cast-off swill for years in the underground storage vats. We can finally sell it.
Have we contracted to get the mechanically separated turkey remnants hauled off this year? Hold on.
This is actually, I mean, it's probably shortage related, but like, it's not a bad idea just for the people who are like lonely and don't want to make a big meal. Just for themselves.
Yes, it is, Krista. It's a terrible idea because when you're halfway through that meal, you start crying.
It's really sad.
But that's not because of the soup.
I mean, they're showing you in the background all that fun-looking stuff, Krista, but that is not what it's going to look like.
No, it's going to be like a brown. Actually, is there a picture of it in the? What's in it? It's probably turkey, maybe some sort of cranberry.
Big chunks of turkey, pigs in blankets, sprouts, and stuffing balls.
Oh.
And I guess broth, right?
Yeah. No, it's just clumps of stuff.
It's so depressing. So incredibly depressing.
I mean, it might be good as far as a
No.
canned soup goes.
Just have some chicken noodle soup or some onion soup.
I mean, you can get the little, even just like the little slices of turkey in the freezer section you could do.
You might be able to get that right now. Might not be able to in December. Although, wouldn't it be hilarious if these all sell out and they can't keep them on the shelves?
It'll be like the gravy soda. Remember that? It was like the
yeah.
Thanksgiving meal soda, and it's like it was just so awful and offensive that it actually sold really well.
We should buy a can of that soup and sample it next week. I'll look for it.
I don't know if
later.
it's out yet. It might be.
Oh, is it? Oh, dang it. I'll look for it.
I don't know what we're going to be doing the week of Thanksgiving too, because I'm going to be gone.
Oh.
All right.
Might record it ahead of time, maybe, or maybe after. Yeah.
That's probably fine.
I don't know. Well, this one is the last story. I usually try to make a fun one for the last story. This is not fun, but it's in the same vein as the engineer with the traffic lights, the woman from Florida with the
Why is it always Florida?
the database, and what was the most recent one that we were so angry about?
There's so much stuff to be angry about. It's hard to remember.
But it's just government crushing dissent and silencing voices in really ridiculous ways. This time for Halloween.
Police warn woman not to wear Halloween costume as a protest, because then it would be considered a protest, and you have to have a permit for a protest. You can wear a Halloween costume, but if you're making a political statement with your costume, then that's a protest, and that's not allowed. So she didn't want them to build a condo on a public beach, and so she was going to dress up as the condo, which is scary.
The public beach is right now a public park for people. So
That anyone in the city can use, I presume.
yes, and there's a nice piece of beach. There's some facilities on it. I think there's like little showers and bathrooms. It's a nice little beach place that is owned by the state. So everybody's public land. They want to build a condo there, and people want to get rich from it. So she's protesting that. So she went on Facebook and she was like, hey, I'm going to dress as the building. You all should too. And if you want some signs, I'm going to have them in the back of my car. Let's go to the Halloween party that the city is throwing. And this cop contacted her and was like, no. You will be protesting. You will be arrested.
Nice. Yay, First Amendment. Woo.
I say, what a mild protest, too, just dressing up and carrying a sign. Like,
I don't even know if she was going to carry a sign.
they should be thrilled that that's the worst thing people are doing, is just dressing up for Halloween.
Now, I assume that cop doesn't care at all. I think he got a phone call.
Yes.
And but he will follow those orders. Remember, they will always follow their orders. And,
if you literally think about following orders, you're already disqualified.
Also, this obviously was Halloween. It's over, but AP didn't update it. She said she was going to go, but she wasn't going to take her kids because she didn't want to have her kids see her get arrested. So they didn't get to go.
And they're going to buy that beach for like pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's definitely, I mean, she's probably right that it is absolutely corruption to the highest degree.
Certainly, if they would need to silence her at a Halloween party, doesn't that give credence to the fact that it is some level of corruption?
Oh, it gives credence to the fact that they have no counter argument.
Yeah. Well, the thing that they do around here is like, if they have a hearing about something like some of our public lands, they schedule it for like Tuesday at like 10 a.m. because they know no one will show up then. And they're like, well, no one said no. And it's like, well, if you had it on like a Saturday, maybe someone would have come. But they don't do that. They don't want to hear it. It sucks.
There's a lot of ways around the checks and balances, which is not how that was supposed to work. But that is how it works.
Woo! Go play on the Minecraft server and/or Devember. There's free Linode credits below, $100.
Hit it. Go visit. This will be like a week later now, but we've been checking the Minecraft server out on our Twitch stream as well. So if you want to see that and like see what it's about, watch that VOD. It's probably in there.
A lot of work has gone into the Minecraft server. You don't have to do, I mean, you can do a Minecraft thing or you can do a development thing. Either one of those things for Devember.
Also, last year in Minecraft, I think we wanted a building. But I don't think you've set any rules this time, right?
No, there's
Could
no
be
rules.
anything.
Yeah, just make sure that you mark it and put it in the thread so that way I know where to judge it.
I would like to see a giant cornholio Biden.
Someone will probably do it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.